Coming up on week 2 of the HuskyZone, exciting things happened across the board in the past 7 days for North Marion. We'll get you everything you need to know about both soccer teams continuing to play well and pushing their records to 3-1. The volleyball program's busy week and picking up a thrilling win in the midst. The cross-country team putting forth some high placers, and the football team's continuation of their winning ways with a shutdown win over Yamhill Carleton 26-7. All this and more is coming up on week 2 of the Fall Sports Husky Zone.
Over middle, it's intercepted.
Hi, I'm Cole Costello, and welcome back to another NM Athletics production. There were once again some exciting results from all 5 of our fall sports clubs in action, which spanned Tuesday through Saturday. First, let's kick it over to Shane Whitehead for the results from cross country's meet.
Thanks, Cole. Compared to the 3 meets that the cross country team faced last week, they had just one this week. But it was a big enough challenge in itself as it was the daunting Silver Falls Invitational. The very scenic but challenging course includes a very difficult hill which spans a half mile. As has been the norm, Hannah Surkamp led the girls runners with a time of 30:51, good enough for 23rd place among the race's competitors, which featured athletes from over 30 schools. Christian Parr finished an outstanding 6th place on the boys' side with a time of 21:43, followed by Spencer Christie in 22nd, and a host of other Huskies filling the spots from 32nd to 42nd, as you can see on your screen. That's it for the cross-country team's results. Now we'll hand it back to Cole for volleyball.
Thanks, Shane. The volleyball team began the busy week with a trip to the Oregon coast to face the 4A powerhouse Astoria Fishermen. The Lady Huskies put up a good effort but fell in 3 sets 25-9, 25-14, and came close in the third loss at 25-20. They moved on to Wednesday with a game at Yamhill Carleton, where they would win the first set, marking the first set win of the season with a dominant 25-15 win. However, the Tigers ramped up the intensity and beat the Huskies in 3 straight sets 25-13, 25-5, and 25-12. The girls proved to be getting better as the week moved on, as on Thursday from Gym 1, the Lady Huskies knocked off Seaside in an exhilarating 5-set game. It was a back-and-forth affair, as North Marion took sets 1 and 3 while Seaside took 2 and 4, setting up a winner-take-all Game 5. The Huskies, although starting off the 5th set in the wrong direction, came back and won the set 15-11, and the game 3-2 for their first victory of the season. The Huskies saw more action on Saturday in the North Marion tournament, losing to Douglas and Roosevelt and beating Taft in pool play. After the completion of pool play, the team moved into the competition bracket play, where they lost to Regis to round out the busy day. That's it for volleyball. Now we'll move on over to girls soccer. After last week's overpowering 11-0 win over Tillamook, the Lady Huskies look to continue their stellar play into this week. They did so on Tuesday by knocking off Banks 4-3. Goals were scored by a variety of different Huskies, including a game-winning goal to clinch the game. Over to Thursday, North Marion hit the road again, this time traveling to Lake Oswego for a match with the Eagles of Westside Christian. The Eagles continued to prove that they deserve the recognition they get in their league, as they went on to defeat the Huskies 4-1. Finally, the Huskies were back home for a rare Saturday contest, hosting the 5A Roosevelt Rough Riders, who were fresh off a win against 6A McKay. In a dicey game which featured a yellow card and some extra talkative sidelines, North Marion completely derailed Roosevelt in a controlling 8-0 win. The Huskies scored 4 goals in each half. After being ranked first in the state for a couple of days, the girls settled down to 6th after the week's end. Now I'm going to hand it off to Logan Beiser for boys soccer.
Thanks, Cole. North Marion looked to continue the momentum of their 3-1 season opener against Tillamook with a home contest against the Banks Braves on Tuesday. The Huskies went into the second half with an even 1-1 score, but 3 quick goals by Banks early in the second half turned the tables. By the end of the game, Banks had added another goal to the scoreboard, while the Huskies tallied 3 of their own, 2 of which came from Chris Wapeo, ending the game with the Huskies losing 5-4. North Marion took the field again on Thursday and hosted the Eagles of Westside Christian. The Huskies ran away with the game, easily surpassing Westside Christian 7-1. Edgar Salgado and Chris Wapeo each had 2 goals. Wapeo also tallied 2 assists during the contest. A highly disputed red card took Edgar Salgado out of the game and suspended him for the following one. Then, the Huskies traveled to Portland to face the Rough Riders of Roosevelt in a rare Saturday match. North Marion got up to a 3-0 lead early in the contest, but Roosevelt countered with a goal of their own before the first half was over. The Rough Riders scored again late in the second half, and the Huskies fought hard to maintain the lead until the time ran out. North Marion finished the game with a 3-2 win. Chris Wapeo, Aaron Caballero, and Juan Bajina all scored to push the Huskies past the Rough Riders. North Marion ended the week with 2 wins and 1 loss, improving their record to 3 wins and only 1 loss. That's it for boys soccer. Now here's Josh for the results of football.
Thanks, Logan. And we are excited to say that the football squad has already surpassed last year's win total, as they picked up another win this week against the Yamhill Carlton Tigers to improve to 2-0 on the young season. Of the Huskies' 59 offensive plays, 49 of them were running plays, but that successfully did the job as North Marion knocked off the Yamhill Carlton Tigers in front of an inspired crowd on Friday night. As if the exhilaration of the 2012 home opener wasn't enough, the Huskies ramped up the excitement as the first offensive play went for 74 yards and 6 points through the running ability of Matt McLaren. This quickly put the Huskies on the board with a 7-0 edge just 20 seconds into the contest. North Marion's second scoring drive was engineered in the beginning minutes of the second quarter, as a 48-yard drive was capped off by a 3-yard rush from Matt McLaren, putting the Huskies up by a pair of scores. YC followed up with a 37-yard touchdown pass to cut the lead in half by halftime. The Huskies converted on their first possession of the second half, driving 58 yards down the field. Matt McLaren ran the ball in from 10 yards out for the score. The fourth and final score was accounted for by Lucas Randall, who broke away with a 49-yard run, which sealed the contest and put the Huskies in front by a final count of 26-7. North Marion's running game was far superior to the Tigers, as the Huskies outgained YC on the ground 340-94. The other team stat categories are on your screen. Matt McLaren led all rushers with 144 yards and 3 scores. Emory Patterson recorded 79, Lucas Randall ran for 63 and a touchdown, and Cody Walker came in with 36. The passing game was not called upon throughout most of the contest, as Wyatt Moore went 2 for 10 with 41 yards, both connections going to Kyle Williamson. The Huskies' 19-point winning margin was the largest since October 16th of 2009, when the Huskies shut down the Elmira Falcons by a final tally of 28-0. That's it for this week's football victory. Now here's Cole with our play of the week.
Thanks, Josh. This week's play of the week is Matt McLaren's tone-setting run, which went for 74 yards on the first offensive play of the game. Wyatt Moore handed the ball off to McLaren, who went around the outside before cutting back, spinning out of the tackle, and making reservations for 6 in the YC end zone. The 74-yard touchdown allowed the Huskies to move on to the 26-7 victory.
I get the handoff and we'll go to Matt McLaren, and he has some positive yardage. There we go. And he's on his feet, and it's going to be gone. He's at the 30, he's at the 15, he's at the 10, 5 touchdown Huskies. Matt McLaren with an amazing touchdown run. And the Huskies score with 11:40 on the clock, a run of 74 yards, 6-0. Huskies pending the extra point by Trevor Kaufman.
Be sure to high-five Matt in the halls when you see him. And now we're bringing Josh back on for the high-flying performer.
Let's go!
Thanks, Cole. This
This week's high-flying performer is Chris Wapeo of the boys soccer squad. Chris racked up 5 goals and 2 assists in the team's 2-1 performance over the course of this week. Congrats to Chris Wapeo on this week's high-flying performer award. Now we're quickly back to Cole for this week's trivia question.
Thanks, Josh. If you remember last week, the question was, when was the last time that a soccer team from North Marion scored at least 8 goals in the game? The answer was on September 9th, 2010, when the boys soccer team knocked off Blanchette 8-0. This week's question is, who was the last cross-country state champion from NM and in what year? Text in your answer to 503-583-8NMA. Standard text messaging rates apply. And now here's Wyatt Moore with more upcoming events.
Thanks, Cole. This week's action gets going on Wednesday when the Cross Country Club hosts the 62nd annual North Marion Invite at Willamette Mission State Park, the longest continually running cross-country meet in the state of Oregon. The meet gets underway at 4 p.m. Thursday, boys and girls soccer begin with league play with their respective soccer matches. The boys will be at LaSalle starting at 6:30 while the girls will start at 4 at home. The volleyball team also begins league play on Thursday with LaSalle with a 6 p.m. start. And lastly, football heads to Junction City as a different set of Tigers come calling. North Marion rounds out their preseason with this 7 p.m. matchup. And now here's Cole Costello to wrap things up.
Thanks, Wyatt. We are very happy to have one of our loyal sponsors back, North Marion Young Life. They're back for another year and we are happy to be partners with them. Thanks to them for sponsoring the ticker this week, and be sure to head to the first club, which is at the Hub in Hubbard on October 1st at 8 p.m. That's it for this week's Husky Zone. I'm Cole Costello. See you next time.